This comment is from a Pinkbluer in the Pinkbluers method group, our platform. So she said she had twins, a boy and a girl. And she still mentions that during her tracking, she had one follicle, that is one egg, right? And she ended up with twins, a boy and a girl. So, and in that comment section, again, people were like surprised, like how did she end up with a boy and a girl with one egg? So that's what I want to talk about now, because actually the sonographer said she had one egg, but in reality she did not have one egg. She had multiple eggs. It's just that some sonographers believe that when there is a dominant follicle, like a mature follicle, that other follicles won't grow and they won't rupture, right? So that's what they believe. They are not totally wrong, but they are not totally right as well. A woman can have more than one follicle and might have multiple follicles of different sizes, like maybe 26 mm, 22 mm, 19 mm. So some sonographers just believe that, okay, once there is a 26 mm, that's the one of maybe the one with like the 22 mm or 19 mm also won't continue to grow and they won't rupture. That's not totally correct, because they can still grow and rupture, but not at the same time, Like in her case now, she had multiple follicles, let's say 2, but they were not the same size. So the first one ruptured. Since the sonographer was only focusing on one, that's the big one, so he followed that one up, and he only wrote that one. He was only measuring that one, and he wrote only that one in the result, right? And we thought that it was just one follicle because that was what the sonographer said, but in reality she had multiple follicles. So when the follicle ruptured and she was asked to baby dance, thankfully that the sperm was able to fertilize that first follicle that ruptured while waiting for the other one, which probably gave that female child. So the first one that ruptured on ovulation day gave her the boy, and the other one, because the sperm had to wait for that one, gave her the female child. She was actually kind of like lucky that the first follicle, the sperm fertilized the first follicle, because if not, she would have gotten only a female child. And this has been one of the problems that we face sometimes from sonographers. That is why they just go ahead and record one follicle, like not minding that other ones can still grow. Like, so what we do, we tell Pinkbluers to tell sonographers to write, to measure everything, because when they just focus on one, that is simple for them. They just don't want to spend time to measure other ones, and they just focus on one, and that's it. But you are paying for this. What you should do, tell the sonographer to write everything out, write down this everything. If there are like 4 or 5 or so, they should write the sizes down. We know the ones that will rupture, we know the ones that won't rupture from the sizes. They should follow it from the beginning to the end. Then we will know if this one will rupture or they won't rupture, because sometimes they just focus on the big one, forgetting that if there were other ones, like sometimes I've seen a sonographer who just left a 24 mm follicle saying that it won't rupture. So sometimes if it happens like that and we go ahead to tell a Pinkbluer to baby dance, meanwhile there were other follicles, like 1 or 2 more, that will rupture later, especially for someone who is looking for a male child, because she was looking for a male child, but but she ended up with a boy and a girl, right? if sometimes it happens that we can tell a pink blower to baby dance with the follicle that was shown, right? And at the end of the day, God forbid that the follicle, the sperm did not fertilize that follicle. The sperm will still have to wait for the other one, and the person might end up with a girl. So in summary, she had multiple follicles, like 2 mature follicles, but they were not the same size. So one ruptured first when she baby danced, while the other one ruptured later. So probably maybe they were like, let's say for example 28 mm and maybe 24 mm or something like that. So when you are going for folliculometry, talk to your sonographer, ask questions. They should write everything. Even if they say that it's only one, that other ones won't grow, it doesn't hurt. They should write everything down. They should measure, because you are paying for that service. They should measure them and write them down for you, because it's going to help. So if you're watching this video right now and you're looking for a male child, female child, twins, and you don't know about Pinkbluers method, Pinkbluers method is a natural gender selection method. We have been around since 2018 helping couples who cannot afford IVF plus PGT. So if you want to conceive a male child or a female child or twins, come to Pinkbluers method.